What's up, everybody? It's your boy G Money back at it again with another video on the G35. So pretty much this is part 2 of my tail light installation, the halos for the 0506 G35 tail lights, but it's the same body for the 0306. Pretty much these tail lights right here. So if you're trying to replicate or try to do this modification to your G35, and you haven't checked out part 1, check out part 1 pretty much on that video. I show you how to disassemble and take apart the tail light and then pretty much paint it. So part 2, I'm gonna put everything back together, install the halos, do all the wiring, and then seal it all up and turn it on, and then we'll see how it turns out. So if you want to see how it turns out, then skip the whole video and check it out at the end. I'll put a timestamp in the bottom at the description, and if you go ahead and do that, well then you might as well just put thumbs up because you just missed a really good video. But but if you do happen to skip the whole video, I mean, at least do me the favor and put that thumbs up. But yeah, hopefully this comes out good, and if it comes out good, make sure you share the video, and that's pretty much it, guys. So been talking too much, so let's get this video started. Alright, everybody, so pretty much these are the tail lights that I left off with the part 1 of the video. Yes, they are a little bit different, as you can tell. I ended up painting this part black. I used to have it chrome, but I did get a little bit of overspray, so I ended up just painting everything black and just left the reflector part. It actually came out pretty good, but yeah, I didn't know they made stuff to get out the overspray, but now I know. But I actually like the way it came out. So the halos that you're gonna need for this, you're gonna need 90 millimeters. I found out the hard way because there wasn't really any forms or any response on what size halos I needed for these, because like I said, nobody's really ever did this to these type of tail lights. So I ended up having to find out the hard way, but I found the right size. So they're 90 millimeters, and the ones that I got, they're red. So hopefully everything comes out pretty good. But yeah, the good thing about these tail lights is you just buy a pack of the 90 millimeter, and you can use them on both of the circles. So that's good. You don't have to get different sizes, so that's a plus right there. But yeah, if you notice, these have little tabs. So what I did was I broke them off, and then I put pretty much 3M tape, the double-sided tape, and then with my little quick connect, or the little harness, I'll feed it through the hole, and that'll be done. So kind of looks something like this. So not that bad. I mean, you can't really see the black tape, but yeah, then the wire goes through. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do all the other halos, and then we'll go to the next step. Okay, now that I have my halos ready, it comes the wiring part. So pretty much these are all the LEDs. As you can see, they're all together, and they all come to this one switchboard. Well, I'm not going to be using this switchboard because I'm not going to be using the LEDs. So what I'm going to do is pretty much all you do is just pull these out, and then right here where they all come together, I'm going to cut it. So I'm going to do that right now, and then I'm going to remove all these LEDs. Okay, so I got all the LEDs removed, as you can see. Now comes the next part, which is the wiring. Don't let it imitate you. It's not as difficult as it seems. I actually will draw a little wire diagram. That way you can see pretty much what it looks like. It's going to look something like this. So pretty much, as you saw on the diagram, you pretty much have your positive and your negative, which is on your circuit board. And then on this end, coming out, you'll have your 3 wires, which I believe is your positive, your negative, and then you have your one for your brake light. So as you can see, to demonstrate, these wires that I cut, they're a little too short, so I want these to have a little more slack. That way when I terminate my halos, I have a little more play. So to take off this circuit board, you have a Phillips screw right there, and all you're gonna do is just loosen it up. Make sure you don't lose the screw, but once you loosen it up, put that right there, you have these little tabs right here that you just move, so that way the circuit board comes off. Once you remove this, you'll be able to take off these wires. So I'm going to do that right now. So now once you have your circuit board removed, it makes it a lot easier to identify what wire goes where. So as you can see, you have your positive and your negative. So once you put this back there, you can pretty much see that your positive is going to be on the bottom part for this side, and then the negative will be on top. So with the remaining wire that I had from the LEDs, I pretty much cut enough slack so that way I could use that to make up my halos. And then with these right here, I pretty much just got these off of some wire. I stripped some wire, and then the insulated part, I'm going to use this as a like a little insulated coat, a coat to protect the metal. That way it's not touching each other. But the final product is going to kind of look like this. This is before I solder everything and put the heat shrink. But as you can see, so this is your positive and then your negative. And pretty much with the heat shrink, once I solder everything, I'll use the heat shrink, cover it all up, and then it'll be good to go. But yeah, that's pretty much as simple as it can get. I mean, so with my extra wire, I'm going to push it back down there, make a good connection, and then we'll go to the next step. So yeah, let me do that right now, and then we'll go to the next part. Now the next part, as you can see, I have my right and I have my left positives. Now, like I said, the only reason why I did this was because of the metal, but also that way I don't get confused on which one's my positive and which one's my negative. Made it a little bit easier, to color coordinate everything. But I got my 2 sets of halos for each tail light. Pretty much I just stripped all the ends, and then all you're gonna pretty much do is red with red, twist that together, black with black, red with red, red with red, black with black, you know how it is. And then pretty much put them together, and then after that solder everything, that way you can get a good connection, which I'm gonna do. And then after I do that, I'll put the heat shrink right over, and we should be good. So let me do that right now, and we'll go to the next step. Okay, so before you solder, just real quick, a little quick tip. What I did was, as you can see on this side, I made like little hooks, so that way when I put this in, I could pretty much just fish it around it like that, something like that. It's kind of like a hook, and then I'll pretty much twist it all together, something like that. But make sure you have your heat shrink on there. You don't want to solder everything and then you forget about that. So just a little quick tip. Alright, so the next part is soldering everything. So the temperature I put it at was like at 325. I don't know if you need to go a little higher than that, but I'm just gonna go with that. And then as you can see, I have everything away from the circuit board, so if anything falls, it's gonna just drip right here. But yeah, let's put these together. Alright, now that I'm done with that, I got my heat shrink over each termination that I just soldered. So with the lighter or heat gun, you're pretty much just gonna use the heat shrink to pretty much seal everything together. Once we're done doing that, I'm gonna go to the car and test it out, and we're gonna see if everything works properly. So let me pretty much seal this off, and then we'll go to the next step. So as you can see, I have everything wired up. The lights are working right now because I have my parking light on right now. Let's see if the brake lights work. So pretty much have all the wires back there. I don't know if you can tell. So I pretty much hit everything up there on the top part. But yeah, everything closed. And now it's time to do the sealing of the lens and putting the headlight back together. So before I do that, just to make sure everything's working properly, I'm gonna test it out again, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Now that I checked out the taillights, everything works good. Put everything back together. So now I'm gonna put the lens on. But before I do that, I'm going to use this rubber sealant that they use for headlights, and I'm gonna put it on the lens for the taillight, pretty much all around the trim of the taillight. And then once I'm done with that, I'm gonna pretty much use the heat gun to bond everything together, and that'll be it. So let me put this on, and then we'll go to the next step. Alright, so I got all the sealant around the edging of the lens. So pretty much with my tail light, just gonna put it on. There we go. So I'm gonna do the other tail light, and then I'll get the heat gun. So let me do that right now. Alright guys, so as you can see, this is what it's gonna look like pretty much before I put it on the vehicle. But for the most part, came out looking pretty good. I'm just waiting for this sealant to kind of get hard. If it was me, I pretty much would recommend not using this as far as to bond everything together. Maybe JB Weld will be a little bit better option, and then maybe putting this after, to make sure everything's sealed properly. But I was able to make it work. I did use these little clamps kind of to put the pressure and bond it a little bit better. And I mean, yeah. So the next time you'll see these taillights, they'll be on the vehicle, and yeah, we'll see how everything turned out. So bam. Alright guys, so let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. But that's pretty much the final look of the halos for the 0605 taillights on the G35 sedan. I thought I would just show you the pictures, because for some reason when I shot video, the halos looked a lot different than they do on the photos. It's more accurate compared to the video. So yeah, what you see is pretty much what it's gonna look like. So if you like the way it looks, do me the favor and put that thumbs up, share the video, because I did put a lot of time in making this work. But yeah, hopefully the videos I did, part 1 and part 2, give y'all some type of a guideline on how to accomplish this. And yeah, because like I said, I haven't seen any videos on it, so hopefully this video helps you out. But like always, it's your boy G Money. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.